Okay, so now what we're going to look at is the hips here. So I'm just going to press Control, oops, so go to Object Mode first, Control 1 just to isolate that one. There's going to be a few little sort of trickier shapes here and everything. We can use probably cylinder unwrap here for this center part, that should be fine. But this part down here, I'm not too sure about. I think we're going to be better off just going with the cylinder unwrap and just have a vertical cylinder. So I might just try that first, see how we go with this. And this really is what 3D modeling and UV unwrapping and texturing, and a lot of elements of this are about. You just have different tools that you use, and if one tool doesn't quite work out the way you want it to, then you go back and you try a different tool until you get the result that you need. So that's all those faces there selected, so we're just going to go UV, cylindrical, and it's not going to look that great. It looks there, okay, but this under part is not great. So we will now rotate it on the Z-axis by 90 degrees, and as you can see here, it's there, but it's sort of disconnected. So if we click here on this little red sort of thing, and then we click once on this circle to bring up our move widget, and then we just rotate this, we can just move this until it's all connected like that. Cool. Alright, so that's looking pretty good there, and that looks a lot better, just in the way it's all sort of shaped there. I'm just going to go ahead and unfold that though, because yeah, there's just a few distortion there that we don't want. Cool, so that's now done. Let's go ahead and UV unwrap this one here. So cylindrical, and then I'm also going to put an unfold on there as well, just so we don't end up with any distortion. So it may end up with a harder shape to texture and work with there, but it's worth it if we know that these shapes aren't going to be too distorted when we apply a texture to them. However, I'm just looking at this now, I'm not too happy with the way that seam is sitting there, so I'm going to move it to the side here. So we're just going to select those two edges, go cut, move this to the side, move and sew, put together, unfold, and there it is. And again, that really is all just about trying to make sure that when we're looking at the character from the front and the side, we don't see any of those seams. Cool, and then these last parts, I'm just going to use best plane with a planer so that we can finish this one off. Okay, cool, and that's there. Let's go UV, planar, and I'm just going to go best plane. This one I could have just used a Y, but I'm going to use that exact same setup for this one, so it's worth having it set up there. Planar, and as you can see, it's now at a different angle, and it's angled against the average of where all the faces are facing, which is good. That's what we want. Okay, that's all those selected, and then same thing. Cool, alright, now let's piece this all together and make sure we haven't missed any bits and that they're all oriented correctly. So we're going to put the hips down here on this sort of one. So let's just resize these pieces down and then move them into position. Again, we don't need to necessarily worry about marrying them up to any of their edges, so they can sit just about anywhere. Cool, this could probably go down here, and this one here. You may notice that they're a little bit off at the moment. What we can do is we can go modify and unfold, and that can sometimes just help to straighten them out a bit. Cool, excellent. Alright, so that is that done. Just going to move that up here, and then we'll have the legs on either side here. So let's just take a look at how this whole shape is looking right now. It's got that shape, that shape, that shape, that shape, and that shape, and this shape. Let's have a look at what the UV map looks like so far. So that's looking pretty decent. Just need to put this to the side. Yep, cool, excellent. So that'll be head, face, shoulders. Yep, this is all looking good so far. Cool. All right, so in the next session we'll look at how to do these legs. This one's going to be a bit complicated, I think, so but we'll just keep using the same techniques and we'll get through it.